One requirement I have for my next relationship, exclusive that is that they must like anime. And that's something I decided maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Now, something I learned is that when a girl really likes you, she ends up liking everything you like anyways. Like your hobbies and interests becomes hers in return, just naturally. But still, it's a requirement of mine because it makes for interesting conversation, maybe talking theories or whatever. Now, if it's not exclusive and they aren't into anime, one that's always good to start and begin with is Death Note. Really no surprise there. That's what a lot of people would recommend, right? And I remember this one girl I was talking to. She knew that I was into anime, but she wasn't. But we would suggest movies to each other because we were big Tarantino fans. And one night, I decided to take a leap and suggest we watch an anime together. And she kind of made a face like, I don't know if I'll be into that. And I said, yo, just trust me. I know it's animation, so you may assume it's just cartoons for kids. And she did. She said she thought anime was just Power Rangers, but cartoons.
It's Morphin' Time! Dragon Sword!
Shout out Power Rangers though, R.I.P. Tommy, and shout out to Kimberly. But I said, just trust me. This anime will change your perspective on that. So we got some wine, cozied up, and enjoyed ourselves some Death Note.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Mission accomplished. She was surprised on how mature Death Note was. Like, this could be an HBO show from the plot alone. It just happens to be animated. Now, it didn't last, but the point still stands. I believe Death Note is a great introduction into anime. Why? Because it throws you into the plot immediately and makes you ask the question, what would you do? And don't lie, we all thought about it. If anything, if someone told me they never thought about what they would do, I wouldn't trust them as a person because it's part of human nature and they're just lying. Just like Light said.
Well, you can bet that everyone would give the politically correct answer.
Trying to present a persona. And something good that Death Note does well is defeat any preconceived notion that just because it's animation, it's kid cartoons. The anime can be dark, mature, full of adult content, and Death Note is a great psychological thriller. It constantly throws you back and forth between Light and L, who has the upper hand, and the suspense is always progressing. Plus, it has some real funny moments like, what?
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Was that intentional? But regardless, everything flows naturally. Now, the only problem with Death Note is I think the ending sucks. They dragged it out unnecessarily, but I think that was the consequence of the editors in charge at the time, if I'm not mistaken. But lesson learned. That's an anime with one of the best introductions, but worse endings. The way they depicted Light in the end, I hated it. But it's still a good anime up until a certain point that I won't spoil if you're one of the few that haven't seen it. Now, what's cool is that my niece, she just got into anime like 2 or 3 years ago, and that's what let me know anime was really getting popular. But her introduction was Death Note as well, I'm pretty sure. She loved that show and had the same opinion as me on the ending. And I could tell she was going to be a genuine anime fan because she didn't just watch the mainstream ones. She got into Monster, which I was really surprised by, Erased, which I'll touch on that soon, and Kuroko's Basketball, which every time I came over to visit, she forced me to watch, excited for me to get into that one. And so for her birthday that just passed, I bought her an actual Death Note, and I was really excited to get this to her because I knew she would get a kick out of that. And it came with all the rules, even Light's notes in Japanese, L's name fully written out. And the way I presented it to her was kind of funny, saying, what I'm about to give you holds a lot of power, but I trust you'll be responsible with it.
With great power comes great responsibility.
And so she was showing it to everybody in the room, saying, don't ever piss me off, just getting a laugh out of it. So I thought that was really cool. Now, another anime I think is a great introduction is Erased, because it's a good whodunit, mystery, detective type of story. And like Death Note, it throws you into the plot immediately, which was another one I watched with the girl I referred to earlier, to where she was guessing, trying to predict who was the culprit, because it piques your curiosity. So any anime that instantly throws you into the plot and it doesn't really have an immediate supernatural fantasy aspect to it, I think is a good introduction. Now, I know Death Death Note and Erase have supernatural aspects to it, but they start from a human level in a grounded beginning, where Death Note makes you ask, what would you do? It speaks to human nature, and Erase has a good whodunit mystery plot to it. And I was trying to think if Attack on Titan would be a good starter, that while it does throw you into the plot immediately, the supernatural aspect might be too overwhelming to see these giant, overgrown, naked humans, but running like babies. It might be too much because it's kind of uncanny to watch at times, but I mean, it's still good, but it might be too much for a starter. Now, there was one girl I tried to get her into Death Note, but she just couldn't do it. She had no interest at all. I was like, damn, really? Maybe just one more episode, just one more, but it just wasn't for her. Now, maybe that genre just wasn't for her because she's a real girl's girl. Like, her favorite movie is Clueless, which is classic 90s comedy. So maybe for her, Sailor Moon would fit better. I should have tried that, who knows. And another girl I watched Death Note with, she enjoyed it, but got slightly offended from how Misa was so submissive and docile to Light, which led to some very interesting conversations between me and her. But overall, she still enjoyed it. But the reason I say she must be in the anime to be in a relationship, because I've dated a girl where we had all similar interests. We were both into Blade Runner, the same type of movies, indies, and she liked anime as well. Not as much as me, but she still liked it. One of our favorites was Princess Mononoke, to the point that without even knowing, we both gifted each other a Princess Mononoke themed gift at the same time, which was crazy. I couldn't believe it in the moment. She gave me a mug, which I still use to this day, and I gave her a scenic puzzle like thing that pops up. It's kind of hard to explain, but it was a real cool moment to cherish. She even put me onto a few episodes from Animatrix, which I knew about but never seen, so that was cool too, so yeah. But I always say Death Note is a good introduction into anime. But from now on, whenever somebody asks me what's a good anime to start with, I'll say nothing. Stay away from it. You won't like it. It's too many of y'all fucking up the medium as it is, so no more casuals. Like one of my friends I've known since grade school, he was barely into DBZ when we were kids, but still watched it along with Pokemon because that was just like all kids watched it, even if they weren't into anime. But he was really into Super as we got older, way more than I was because I just really couldn't get into Super. But he never watched any anime beyond that. He now sees how popular anime has become and is interested in watching others. And he asked me not too long ago what should he watch to get more into anime. And I'll now respond with nothing. Stay out. It's not for you. I'm joking, but I'm actually serious at the same time. But anyways, that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree Death Note is a good starter? What are some other ones you recommend? If you haven't already, check out my music on Spotify, link in the description below. If you love those Samurai Champloo, lo-fi Mellow Boom Bap vibes, then my music is definitely for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Free think. Peace.